This conference will now be recorded.
Set.
Yep.
You're set?
Yep.
All right. Welcome, everyone. This is the first regular meeting of the month for Savannah Township Trustees. Please be courteous and respectful of other people. And also remember when somebody has a platform, try not to interrupt them. We would appreciate it. I'll call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock. Dave, will you call the roll?
Yes, I will. Mr. General? Here. Mr. Randall?
Here.
Simcoe here. Mr. Mahoney is not here in the death of the family, so he's not able to attend.
Could you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. I'll move approval of the August 16th minutes.
Second. Mr. General? Yes.
Yes. Next item is any additions or deletions to the agenda. Mr. Turner?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. January? Okay. You don't have anything to do? All right. All right, we'll move on to the pinning ceremony. Chief?
Good afternoon. We'll call Justin and Holly up. Justin Weldon and his wife Molly. Wait for a second, can you take your hat off for a second? When he first got promoted a few months ago, he had all black hair. Just wanted to make it right. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Justin Weldon. I, Justin Weldon. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will obey and support. That I will obey and support. The Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution of the United States of America. The laws and revised code. The laws and revised code. Of the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio. The established laws and ordinances. Established laws and ordinances. Within Savannah Township. Within Savannah Township. And the rules and regulations. And the rules and regulations. Of the Savannah Township Fire. Of the Savannah Township Fire. That I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the position of lieutenant paramedic, according to all governance, therein, to the best of my ability, I take and subscribe this oath before the Savannah Township Fire Chief, this sixth day of September 2022. All right. Congratulations. Molly. Congratulations. Gentlemen.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Justin. Let's take the board station. What shift? B shift.
2 Central Avenue.
Over for Lieutenant Reynolds from Lieutenant Reynolds retired.
Oh,
So it's kind of pretty big shoes.
all right.
He's doing a great job.
Good. Next item on the agenda is hearing of the public for agenda item only. And we have, this is not, that will be a little later on in the agenda. Next item is the zoning department. Carol?
Good evening. Just have one resolution this evening, 22-119, authorization of abatement vegetation. This is for 4 parcels owned by the same property owner, the contiguous parcels at 3244 Moffett Drive, 3239 to 3243 Nolan. One of our regular congress issues.
I'll offer resolution 22-119, authorization of abatement of vegetation.
Second?
Yes.
Yes. Thanks, Carol.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Darrell.
Next item is the Road and Service Department. Rob,
Consent line, resolution 22-121. This is request authorization to the administrator to act as the chief executive officer to prepare an application for Ohio Public Works Commission. And this is for project, various township roads. This allows Mr. Turner to sign and prepare documents to the application.
if there's no questions, I'll move resolution 22-121, authorizing the administrator to act as executive officer for the Ohio Public Works Program for 2024.
Second.
Roll, Mr. Beazle.
Yes.
Mr. Tillman.
Yes.
Thanks, Rob. Police Department, Chief.
Right down the center row there. All right, I just get one resolution 22-122, authorization to hire one police officer on the building list. Yeah. Well, now we have 3 vacancies, actually, 2 more last month. That wasn't what you expected. So we definitely fixed.
All for resolution 22-122, authorization to hire one police officer. Yes.
Mr. Banner.
Yes. Thanks, Chief.
I would like to make a note, former officer Jerry Coster passed away over the weekend.
He did. Yeah, we're.
He was a long time.
Thursday.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a walk for 3 days. Now, for us, we're trying to coordinate with the family today and stuff to set things up. So
Great.
he got to go to the last, what he wanted to do. So he managed to get that in a month ago before things took a turn for the worse. So that was good because he'd been trying to do that since he retired 2 years ago.
Thanks.
That's sad.
The next item on the agenda is a public hearing for street lighting petition for Bridge Creek Plat 1. I'm looking up there at 507. Is there anyone here to talk for the street light proposal? Okay, is there anyone here with questions or comments in that regard? All right, you can tell these are sort of automatic things, but I'll close the hearing at 5:08. And I'll offer resolution 22-117, approving a streetlight petition for Bridge Creek Plat 4.
Second. Yes.
Yes. Next item on the agenda, the administrator, Mr. Turner. Several items on the agenda.
Good evening, trustees and fiscal officers and folks. Next resolution is 22-118 to approve certification of streetlighting districts to the Lucas County Auditor. Starting tax year 2022, collections begin in 2023. This is a resolution that's for conveyance for consideration by the board.
I think you sent us all a copy of this, correct?
We're speaking about this, there's
Yes. All right, I'll move resolution 22-118 to approve certification of street lighting districts to the Lewis County Auditor for tax year 2022, with collection beginning in 2023.
Second.
Roll, Mr. Beazle.
Yes.
Mr. Tillman.
Yes.
Next item.
Next item is resolution 22-123, set streetlight petition, set a date for hearing. This would be for River Tree Plat 1, lots 1 through 22, for the installation of 3 streetlights.
I'll move resolution 22-123 for River, what was it, River?
River Tree, flat
River
1.
Tree Plat 2, right?
1.
Plat 1, sorry.
Second.
Mr. Tillman.
Yes.
Mr. Banner.
Yes.
Next item is resolution 22-120, adopting updated business expense reimbursement policy. This is part of the continuing review of established policies and procedures. The updates to this policy would increase the daily reimbursement from $55 to $65. And within that $65, the tip amount would be increased from 15% to 20%. There's also additional language which states that receipts would need to include itemized meal purchases as well, rather than bulk dollars. This has been sent to the representatives for farming. But, is there any questions?
There's no questions. I'll move resolution 22-120, a resolution adopting an updated business expense reimbursement policy.
Second.
Calling roll, Mr. Randall?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Next item is resolution 22-127, approving a technical proposal for professional services. The assessment by Abatement continues on the retaining wall and the ground adjoining fire station 1 and the Saunders Marketplace. In front of the trustees is a technical proposal which includes concrete scanning, utility location, video pipe inspection, standard test borings, and additional consultations and potentially other reimbursable expenses. Mr. Abatement with Abatement is here this afternoon to answer any specific technical questions the trustee may have. And you advise me accordingly to start that the original proposal is running under budget at this time. So as the project progresses, that would be a funding source for design engineering.
Can we add that to the solution? How many we do? That's good to hear. I'll move resolution 22-127 to approve technical proposal for professional services, Station 1 retaining wall.
I'll second that, but I do have a question on that. So I thought I read in the report or somewhere that we're not the owners of the wall. Is that?
Good. That is correct. The record to obtain the wall is actually about 2 feet onto the adjacent property.
Okay. Did we install it?
We could not find records of when it was actually installed. It's been there for quite some number of years.
Part of the new building though incorporated the wall, or didn't we touch that when we did the new building?
Yeah, not when the new building, that part of the wall is not. part of
Never touched. Okay.
The new building has its own basic foundation walls and everything.
Okay. Okay. That's all I thought we owned it. And I thought, I talked to Jim Sauter and I thought he expressed that we owned it too. So when I read it in the report, it just caught me by surprise. Thanks.
I don't know who originally built the wall. When you look at the wall, it looks like, Chief, if we built the wall with the original part of it?
It's been there as long as I've been there, for 41 years, that particular wall has been there.
There are meeting minutes from the 70s where there was discussion between Sauter and the trustees at the time. And it looks like Sauter still the wall from the representative. But the fire, of course, it's not a beneficiary of the wall.
If there's a problem with the wall, we're gonna have it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move resolution 22.
I think we just take the vote.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have one.
No, wait, we got to vote yet.
I got.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Are we going to retain an easement for supplying the wall? Are we going to retain an easement so that if there's repairs needed, traffic feed to come on, park our trucks there to do the work? I mean, I think part of it should be, for maintenance and repair of the wall, there should be an easement.
I think we're gonna take the wall over, aren't we? Maybe I'm wrong. I thought-
There has been discussion. I've had discussions with Dave Sauter about Sauter's transferring the ownership of the wall to the township, just for purposes of maintenance of having that primary interest. They did request that they be able to maintain the ability to continue to paint the wall to match the mural that's there on Speedway side.
Yeah.
But they seem very receptive.
Well, I'm just concerned that if we can't do a repair from like a fire, if we have to park some vehicles there and maybe the solder might view us as disrupting their business some, but if we would have to have equipment there and that, do some digging or redo these things, we probably need need to have in our purchase agreement, the easement that we get on this, pay for maintenance and repairs, or whatever, some of the prosecutors office would say. Right.
At the time, it would be before. You know, so that the plan wouldn't be disrupted.
Okay. Okay, I'll call the roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the last item under administrative category is 22-128, accepting and agreeing upon recommendations from the healthcare committee. The healthcare committee has come forth with 3 different recommendations for consideration by the board. The first is the renewal of the stop loss coverage policy through Brownstone with an estimated maximum annual plan year cost decrease of roughly 1.08%. The second would be the adoption of the Delta Vision 150 enhanced plan to replace vision coverage through VAC to become effective January 1st, 2023. And the third would be the inclusion of Regenex interventional orthopedic services in the township healthcare plan to become effective January 1st, 2023. Mr. Barnett is from a meeting in Finley at this point, but to advise he could be called with any questions.
If there's no questions, I'll move resolution 22-128, a resolution to adopt and agree upon the recommendations of the healthcare committee.
Second.
Bishop Randall.
Yes,
Mr. Dillon.
Yes.
thank you. Next item is the fiscal officer. Dave,
I just have 3 resolutions. The first is resolution 22-125. Is to increase appropriations on several accounts. Most of it, a lot of it that deals with auditor and treasurer fees that we, experience for our auditing that was done. And I think that they were a little bit higher than what is estimated. And then repairs and fund 208 or leaf disposal or the general fund reimburses or paid. And the road fund leaf gathering up as we head into the fall season.
I'll move if there's no questions, I'll move resolution 22-125, township appropriations from unencumbered balance.
Second.
Mr. Dillon?
Yes.
Yes,
Next, I have resolution 22-126, and it's interfund transfer from the general fund to the leaf disposal fund and to the fire, and from the fire fund to the fire capital improvement fund. Transfers are for the second half of the remaining budgeted transfers. We did get, I should tell the trustees, that we did get the second half distribution from the treasurer's office. And so that's why we're doing this.
there's no questions, I'll move resolution 22-126, transfer of funds.
Second.
Mr. Grant?
Yes,
Mr. General?
Yes.
And lastly, I have resolution 22-127, interfund transfers within the general fund for just various expenses that we have.
there's no questions, I'll move resolution 22-129, transfer of appropriations.
Second.
Mr. Dunaway?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I have for this evening.
Next item on the agenda is hearing of the public for non-agenda items. We have Doug Allen and Wheeler, is it Steve Wheeler and Doug Allen? Want to step up?
Sure. I'm here to lodge a complaint in the Sylvania Township zoning. In my development, I live in a residential zone development, and there's business going on in that development. Made the zoning, Sylvania zoning aware of it. And it seems as though nothing's being done. And the second item is the trash can storage. And I was here previously about that, if I'm not mistaken. And I brought it to the attention of Dean, and he said that he would like, he would examine what needed to be done, so on and so forth. And I suggested to him that we just adapt, same thing as Sylvania City has, or the city of Toledo, when it comes to trash can storage. We had some residents in that development, since they moved in, the trash cans have not moved. They're between the street and the sidewalk. That's what they've been. And we had, so what the second is, it's okay to store your trash cans there because nobody has said anything to the contrary. And we also have some residents that store their trash cans in the driveway, you know, front of the garage. Me personally, I think trash cans should be stored out of sight. But that's my opinion.
What subdivision is this?
Dude, their name is Black Oak, Red Oak, it's all
Red Oak, oh, by,
Black Oak,
I know these.
Scarlet Oak. Huntingfield, you go down to Huntingfield.
Yeah, I know, exactly, okay.
But anyway, I was hoping that, you know, something would be done about both of those incidents. And just to bring you up to speed, previously we had in the development, we had a resident that was repairing cars. So what was happening is there was so many cars he had sitting on the curbs and the parking spaces that the residents had no place to park. They had to park on another street or go, you know. Fortunately, the owner got rid of the resident, you know, evicted them. But the case we have going on now with the speakers being installed, these huge speakers are being installed in vehicles. And I sent these pictures to Dean, at least 15 or 20 within the last year. And just still going on.
Thank you.
So,
Did you want to address this, Carol, or get back to Mr. Al, or how do you want to handle this?
Well, I believe Ms. Wheeler also wanted to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just have to have one issue.
Is it the same issue or different?
No, it's another issue in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
I have an abandoned property that's been abandoned for almost 20 years across the street from me. And,
In the same development?
yes, in the same development, it's on the right of 6047 and 6049 right of. And my issue is that Dina's been trying to get in touch with the owner of the property to get it secured. Both doors in the back are open, and there's teenagers and kids and children in there, and eventually something serious is going to happen. So he said that he would get a hold of the property owner and ask him to put order to secure the property. About a week or two ago, Shane from the fire department was over there, and he would not even go back there because there was a pit bull inside on the second floor. So it should not be in, and I wonder what the situation is now about getting the property secured.
Carol, I think Daryl can, it sounds like Daryl can address it.
For starters, the business of installing car stereos, we are aware. In fact, we met with both of these people, Dean and I. We let them know that we need proof. If we can find proof, or if they can supply proof to us, then we can follow up on the business, like business in a residential district. We've not been able to verify that, and the photos that have been sent in to Dean aren't really anything conclusive that we can take to the county prosecutor to pursue legally. Pictures of cars with the trunk open, and people working on cars, certainly not a zoning violation. It's not a zoning violation to put in a car stereo on your property. The question is whether they're running a business there. And that's always extremely difficult to prove, except for those rare cases where somebody actually advertises on Facebook or something that they're doing business out of the house. That works out well. We've already talked to Mr. Burrell about this, and without a video or photographs showing conclusively the business being run, there isn't really anything we can do. Dean did send a letter to the property owner and the resident. The resident is, I believe, the son of the property owner. The property owner then contacted Dean to say that his son wasn't running a business there, and Dean respectfully countered on that. So that's kind of where we're at now. That was just like last week, I think, maybe the week before. So it is an ongoing situation, but we have nothing that, if it comes to pursuing legal action, then we could stand to follow up on it.
How about the abandoned property? It sounds like the fire department.
Right, and that was, I think that was nice meeting with the video. It was kind of creepy seeing the pictures. Supposedly vacant house, was fit below the second floor, looking out the window at Dean. Yeah, I believe that house had been boarded up.
No.
Shane from the fire department had initially had them board that up, but there it is. So I would have to touch base with Shane Miller on that to see what that is.
It's not been boarded up, Carol, ever.
What's up with the property owner? Is he local or?
I know in years past, we had a really difficult time getting a hold of him. He did his junior detective work, looking online and found an address, sent a letter. This was in regards to high grass, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And since that time, that is no longer a current address for the property owner.
I think one of, do you?
Oh, wait, a minute, I'm speaking for a guy.
Okay.
It's been vacant for how long?
15, 20 years.
15, 20 years, come on.
Yeah,
It's never been boarded up. The doors have been.
Kids are
okay.
going in there, dogs in there.
There was a bullet on the second floor, and Shane from the fire department saw, he wouldn't even go around to the back. The problem with getting a hold of the property owner shouldn't be that significant in the fact that he has the grass all the time. So the company that is doing the grass cutting for him is billing him, he's paying it.
Yeah.
That's the average bill to.
Or
Do you just, the company is cutting?
Yes, I'm talking with company.
even a sign, no trespassing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So the kids are not saying, well, nobody said us, that we couldn't come in there. So
yeah.
how much does it cost to put a sign?
And there's a lady living next door that uses oxygen, and they're smoking in there too.
That would be up to the property owner to put up a no trespassing sign. We can't go and put a trespassing sign on someone else's property.
I agree, but until something happens.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen, just
Is this on, I didn't read your complaint list today. Is this on the list? This property?
Probably not, because this is an ongoing one.
I think we ought to get it at least on the list. Oh, you've got it there.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Yeah, it would probably have shown up months or maybe even last year, although it's been an ongoing issue. Regarding,
Would we be able to, it costs us money, but some skip tracing on trying to run down where this owner is?
Yeah.
You know, there's some services that we can use, maybe Daryl, that it's not free, but we have to try to run it down. Or it'd be interesting if someone's paying the taxes on it, maybe contacting.
They are.
Treasury office.
She's been paying the tax.
Yeah.
And finding out, they might have some information where this guy, like his check or something, or, maybe that might just be a call, but then otherwise, if we can get some information on him, like his name and the address of his property, sometimes you skip tracing, you can, collection entities do that, to try to run people down, send them. Maybe we could do that. That might help us find him anyway, where he is.
I have.
Sure.
Yeah, or else John.
The legality of doing it. I know.
Yeah, well, be a good
The
person.
thing was this gentleman, we tried to touch police department to see if they would be
Oh,
able to
yeah, I
their
did.
channels, and it's not even legal for them to do that for us.
Maybe you could explore Corral, like you're saying, what options we would have, to try to run down this owner. Right now, we're like up into a dark room,
And regarding the trash can issue, we just passed some property maintenance code earlier this year, which does have that, as far as where trash cans are to be stored and not to be out on the street for more than 24 hours. So I don't know if the specific address, I didn't get with Dean on that one. I haven't heard about that.
I haven't seen anything on my property owner, I haven't seen that got any notices or anything about trash cans. Nothing.
Well, no, there's no notices. Yeah, but if you were to call in and say the property at 1, 2, 3, 4, red, that's fine.
Yeah.
And properties, they leave them all over the place.
I mean, it's-
Carol,
we have to know what addresses were. Okay.
I can't give you the addresses, most definitely.
Okay.
could we send a notice out to that subdivision maybe? Sounds like it's practice.
Look, first of all, it's very difficult because we all have different trash collection, could be on different days depending on what company we're using. And that's understandable. But, like this week, every day's gonna be a day behind, okay? But the day, there's no trash pickup on Saturday. So Saturday, there's trash cans sitting on, other than sitting on the street or in view. That's an issue right there. Okay, I mean, that's,
I don't know that we could have a different policy for each subdivision, but I think we just adopted this trash. Maybe it'd be good to notify, I'm thinking notify that subdivision. Just on our policy. But we can't say Saturday, we can say they can't be there longer 24 hours. And I don't know what else we have in there. Yes, sir.
yes, I'm sorry. I've been 6036 rental for 20 years. And this has been a non-issue. How long have you lived in here?
Certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Well,
And now all of a sudden we have people installing speakers. We have people, car repair business going on. And we have people taking their trash cans, just throwing them any place they want to.
well, the trash cans, we just adopted that policy.
What are the consequences if they don't do it? Yes.
Legal action, sent on to the county prosecutors.
I have another question back to the property that we were discussing. When this owner would not have his grass cut in the past, the township was going in there and cutting, having the grass cut and putting the bill onto his property tax. My question now is, why can't they board up that property and charge him for it?
As far as.
It's the same situation.
Well.
Yeah.
It really isn't, because that's not a zoning violation. It'd be a property maintenance code violation, so it's something we can pursue legally. And I believe the fire department has, do the following up, start reporting on the chief comment on this. But start reporting on houses or buildings that need it, I don't know what the enforcement is on that.
If we deem that it's unsafe, and we can do that, but we gotta follow through the legal process.
Yeah,
We can't
I
just walk.
understand
If we
that.
just didn't want to-
But I think that's why Shane was there, because he was checking it out for that very reason, and then he found. But that's all, and
Sure.
I went the other way, and I was too.
Well, Darrell and Mr. Turner, can we get, we have their addresses here, but maybe if you two would leave your phone numbers. And I'd like to see it get on a complaint list, number one, so we don't lose track of it. And number two, I'd like you to follow up with both of these people as to what we can do. I think on the traffic, we can do something, possibly boarding the building under a new maintenance code. I think we could do something on that, at
We
least
can't,
those two issues.
we can't board it up like we do grass abatement because it's not a zoning violation.
No, but I
Property
mean,
maintenance
you
goes
can make the
to
order.
Mr. Burrell, and then
No, I'm saying we can make the owner aware that the building should be boarded up. That's the first thing, right?
And then charge him.
I don't know that we can do that. Maybe Mr. Burrell. But certainly he's in violation of our new
as far as,
zoning maintenance code.
as far as the trash cans, and, you know, if we get the addresses of a property that's in violation of that, we can certainly follow up on it.
Well, I'd like to be sure somebody gets back to these two people, so we're, you know, some of them might be communications. We should keep them informed of our progress. And I'd like to get it on the list so we don't lose track.
Yeah, it's been going on for months or years.
I thought John said it wasn't on the list.
Not last month, this has been going on for some time. What goes on the list is things that have been entered that month. So something was initiated 6 months ago and it's still an ongoing case. It's not gonna be-
It's not on the list. I thought it would be.
Could,
It's just,
could we have a clearer
I
understanding
thought the
of
list was.
if somebody is in violation of our new property maintenance code, what the process would be to correct that, or what, you know, how do we intervene in that process once we've identified that? Because that, again, having newly passed that, I think we're all kind of still curious as to how this would go. And, you know, we have our intentions of being able to address concerns like this with that code. And I think I, for one, would like a better understanding of how the enforcement process would go with that.
right.
So if we could have that outlined in terms of, hey, we send this to the prosecutor's office, you know, step 2, 3, and 4 are this, and that way we can tell the residents, you know, what and when to expect
Right.
from our side.
It's the way we handled, are still handling those two cases with the, all the vehicles on the property. If you recall, a few months ago, we met with that.
Yeah,
So, if the zoning department gets no response or cooperation from the property owner, we send it on to John Burrell. His office sends out a letter. If there's still no cooperation, then we come back to the board to see if you want to, you know, pursue it legally or, you know, I guess I think just pursue it legally or just to drop it. So that would be.
okay. Well, I don't know if sending each of these cases to Burrell, I think he would have given a thumbs down on this thing. If that's the process, I think that's just not realistic. And with these vacant homes, it certainly is concerning. I mean, obviously that's a huge safety issue for a lot of reasons. And, you know, I'm thinking more along the land bank thing that we just did on, was it Trellis Way? You know, if there's something we can get involved in here and kind of push these people, particularly if it's an owner that's somewhere else, he's paying for the maintenance, he must have the means or something. We should be able to put some pressure on him to do something.
This one would not be a candidate for the land bank because he's up on his taxes.
But is there other pressure we can put on him, either to sell it or to keep it at a, point where the neighbors aren't concerned for safety?
Well, that's why we instituted the property maintenance codes, address issues like this. Mr. Burrell reviewed the property maintenance code before it was submitted for the board for approval.
But if he's up on his taxes, can't we find out who he is?
Well, we know. who
He's
he-
on there.
It's on the property.
But he has a mailing address, right? No?
Yeah, I would assume so. But it's not responding, so.
Well, then, and people seem to pay a little more attention when it's an attorney, right, Mr. Simcoe?
I think, you know, relevant call for the prosecutor's office with this guy, because he's thumbing his nose and the only reason he's cutting his grass now is we could ask him about that. But like you're saying, you probably get some means because he's not out there pushing a push mower, cutting it himself.
He's a retired attorney.
Oh,
That's right.
oh.
Well, then, wait a minute. But, you know, we got, then he knows, and he knows, and we just got to try to get him stuff like that. You know,
People knock on our door on a consistent basis, asking me, we want to buy that property. And you try to buy it, he won't sell it. He will not sell it. I heard that it's tied up in some kind of family.
It's an unusual case. He owns the property, but he's not had any interest in selling it, or renting it out, or living in it. So it sits empty, but he pays the taxes and he has a grass cut. Obviously, it's not a smart financial situation, but.
Well, Darrell and Oliver, I think you can sense the board wants to do something. And we're not going to sell it tonight, but let's figure out something, even if it doesn't quite work. Let's get going on this. And please keep these two people informed, so they're aware that whatever you're trying to do. I don't think we should drop it to you, John.
No,
So,
No.
you know, let's get on it and let's,
Been communicating that he's in business going on.
not the.
that's going to be a tough one, as you stated, but, you know, have we looked online and have we looked under car stereo installments and all that stuff, and we haven't been able to find anything, and
I don't know that we can solve it.
The father, who's the property owner of the resident, claims that, you know, the guy's just doing it for
No,
fun.
they rent. They don't own one. They rent it.
from his father.
The son that's renting it, his father owns the property and the son lives there.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's fact, right, from what Dean said, but, again, we get this periodically, somebody working on cars or whatever, and they say they're just doing it for friends or family, and unless we have proof otherwise, we're not gonna get anywhere.
Why you send it in?
I have numerous pictures of what I'm talking about, okay? And
With all due
I'll send it to you.
respect, don't show anything, it shows.
It does show.
Trump's,
Somebody working on it. Let's not interrupt each other. Go ahead, Darrell. Mr. Allen, you can respond.
Yeah, Mr. Allen sent dozens of pictures to Dean on that, and none of them are anything that we can take time to say this is business going on. I mean, it's like I said, cars,
Well, I think-
somebody working on.
I sense that you're not getting back to Mr. Allen.
Sir, you have never heard from me from the previous 20 years I've lived where I live at. There was no need. Now there's a need. I invested in residential property,
Oh, I get that.
okay? And that's what I think I'm entitled to. Now, all these different cars, vehicles of all kinds, people that are just coming to our development that normally would never be there. There's a reason why these is residential or commercial. There's a reason. And it's not happening.
I don't understand why the pictures are not good enough when it's got the whole thing opened up. Speakers around me, you want a video, we can give you a video. I mean,
I think the problem with, defining a business is whether money's transacted, and that's going to be hard to determine if that was paid for or not. Is there anything that we have that can limit the number of?
I can show you pictures of the speakers, and I can show you pictures of the toolkit that they use. And the reason we know is to put speakers in because they test, and the speakers vibrate throughout the whole development. There's a peace disturbance. That, what's going on? What's this noise?
Could we approach them on the noise ordinance?
Pictures on the walls.
a couple of years ago, the young man said to me, I went over there, okay, and I asked him, say, would you please turn stuff down? After he swore at me and everything, he told me, get away from here, you're interrupting my business. I'm doing business.
So there's no business going on, right? But he admits to it.
That was a couple of years ago.
That was it.
And it's not a zoning violation to work on your car or stereo service.
How many cars does he have?
Daryl, wait a minute.
20, 30 cars.
We got other business here, but I want to be sure. I think you can sense the board wants something done and get back to these people and get back to the board. Have you got that? Daryl and Oliver, do you have that?
I do.
I think we can do something here somehow. There's several complaints, maybe we can't handle all three. Or we could debate this all night long. We're not going to get anywhere, but I want to be sure somebody gets back to both of these people with what we can do and what we can't do. You have anything else, John?
No.
All right, we'll move on. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the update on the Sabania Township website. Is that you?
Correct. That's the list where the website is currently undergoing renovations. And just wanted to note that in the event any member of the public would like to review particular ideas for what they'd like to see or not like to see on the website. Just be updated.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the executive session, and I'll move that we go into the executive session at 5:47. And joining us will be the elected officials, the administrator, police chiefs, both of them, Jim Walter and Lauren Carpenter from the prosecutor's office. And then we'll go out of executive session later. Don't expect any action.
Second. Did someone have a comment from the? No, okay. Second.
Yeah. Second, Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Yes. Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
All set? Thank you. I'll move to come out of the executive session at 6:37.
Second.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Yes. And I'll move to adjourn at 6:38.
Second.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Yes. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.